on the Straight Shooting Series Volume 2 DVD, you told Bobby the Brain Heenan about a raccoon invading your house. Can you please share the raccoon story with the listeners?
Well, okay. We had just moved into Castle Cornette after the renovations. This was some 12 years ago or so. And Stacy was in California visiting her family at the time. I was here by myself. And I'm in the bedroom. I'm watching TV, and I hear this right somewhere. And I'm thinking, what? It wasn't like somebody was knocking on the door. It was just a continuous boom, 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 boom. And I look out the window at the back door, and there's nobody there. And I turn on all the outside lights, and I look around the house, and everything's locked up. It's 2:00 in the morning or whatever time it is on Sunday. And so I lay back down watching TV, and a minute later, I walk around again. I'm thinking, what the fuck? I cannot find anything out of place or anything wrong. So a while later, I get up to walk from the bedroom through my hallway into the bathroom. And when you look to the right in the hallway, you look down into the kitchen. And as I walk through the hallway and I happen to glance to the right, I see the biggest fucking raccoon that I've ever seen in my life in my kitchen. Walking across the floor, it looks up at me, doesn't register anything, kind of turns left and goes into my living room. What the fuck? Well, now I'm naked, first of all. I have no shoes. The shoes are past the raccoon. They're at the front door because we got a no shoes policy in the castle. And I'm naked because I'm home alone. I'm in bed. It's 2:00 in the morning. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to fight a fucking potentially rabid raccoon naked. So, but at the same time, this is a sizable Are you people up north, are you familiar with raccoons?
Yeah, we have them here too.
Okay, well, this is a sizable raccoon. It's the size of a medium-sized dog, it looked like to me. I don't know. It was a 25, 30-pounder. It had to be.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was enormous. And I'm thinking, so I go back in the bedroom and I close the door. And I'm thinking, now, I'm not going to take I do have a weapon, even though I am very pro-gun control. I have a small non-automatic handgun that I've had for 30 years that I do use in my home for protection. I've actually never used it because I've never needed it, but it's there. And I'm not against those small, 1 bullet at a time, 6-bullet type of firearms, but I am against, in my brand new, recently renovated home, chasing after a goddamn raccoon in my living room and trying to pick it off, right? I've never fired the fucking gun to begin with. I fired it once 30 years ago when I got it, make sure it worked, and that's it. So I'm thinking the gun is out. I don't know that I want to take a bat after the raccoon in my brand new renovated house, especially since in the living room, that's where the majority of the antiques in the house are. What do? I know. I'll call 911. So I called 911. And they say, sir, what's your emergency? I said, I'm not really sure. I said, I have a potentially rabid and very large raccoon loose in my home. That was the response I got. They said, did you say a raccoon? I said, yes, a raccoon. It's loose. It's in my home. It might be rabid. I don't know. I'm not acquainted with. We've never met, me and this coon. I said, is there a procedure to follow here? And they said, well, it's 3:00 in the morning on Sunday. So, animal control is closed, but we can send the cops out. And I'm like, well, the town I live in, they're doing nothing at this time of night anyway. There's no crime here. So I said, well, go ahead and send them. Well, the raccoon call went out, and apparently they really weren't doing anything because guess how many police cars I got for a call of a rabid raccoon in my home?
I don't know, 3.
4. And now, and they said, just stay there. So now I open the bedroom door and I can hear his claws on my tile floor. He's back in the kitchen. Right? So finally the cops get here. They knock on the front door. Now I'm dressed, but I still don't have any shoes, but I got to go to the front door. So I do pick up, I can't remember what it was I had in the bedroom. It was some type of blunt instrument. And I creep down the stairs. Right in front of the kitchen is the front door, and I open the front door, and the cops come in. I said, all right, guys. I said, there's a raccoon in this fucking house somewhere. I saw it. Okay, so they start at the bottom, and they went down in the bar area. Everything's fine. They go through the living room and the kitchen and the TV room. There's no need to go out into the sunroom and the hot tub room area because that door was closed. There's no way he could have got there. Come upstairs, check the bedrooms, the bathroom, and they're starting to look at me like I'm on some kind of drugs, right? Because there's no raccoon or sign of a raccoon. There's no door open. There's no window open in this fucking house, right? And I said, the only place to go now is up into the vault and my office area. So as soon as we start going up the next flight of stairs into the vault, then I look to the right, and now I see it. There's a hatch door about 3 feet square that leads to the attic space that is over the top of my bedrooms. That door is standing wide open. What I was hearing, what was this fucking giant raccoon drop kicking that door until finally he caused it to open.
Wow.
Now, the vault is about 50 feet long, and it's dark. I turn the lights on, and when we're going down, and the cops have the flashlights, and as we come through the door into the office area, and they shine the flashlight over to the left, this fucking raccoon is sitting on an antique end table right next to my couch, right next to the front windows. When the flashlight hits him, he jumps up and climbs up my curtains and then leaps off over the couch and starts running around the room. And one of the cops who had said, well, I'm a raccoon hunter from way back, and, he wasn't really impressed by the fact that I told him this was the biggest raccoon in all of recorded history. Guess what that cop said?
What did he say?
That's the biggest raccoon I've ever seen. So while they're chasing this fucking thing around the room and I'm trying to find the light switch, I run over and I fling the sliding glass door to my deck, the third story deck, actually, I should say. I fling the sliding glass door open, and if they can chase him out on the deck, he'll be trapped out there, right? Because there's a railing around and it's quite a ways off I didn't realize that raccoons were so fucking acrobatic. They chased him out. He ran right out on the deck, right up on the railing, and jumped off into the goddamn inky blackness of night, like he was committing suicide. But we never found a body, so I assume that these raccoons are just athletic as all fuck. And now, where they scared him, he has left a trail of raccoon shit. He shit on my antique end table. He shit on some of the boxes that I hadn't unpacked yet. He shit on my carpet. He just dribbled a line of shit all the way out the door. So at least I was vindicated in that there was a raccoon in my house. We don't know if he was rabid because we weren't able to contain him. He went off into the night to terrorize other innocent people. And those 4 cop cars sat down to the bottom of my driveway for the better part of a half an hour, I'm sure radioing all over the Kentucky and southern Indiana area about the dangerous raccoon call that they had just had. And so the bottom line is I got a deadbolt. And he had pried loose the screen on my attic exhaust fan that was supposed to keep things, and somehow had climbed in that way. But I put a deadbolt on my attic hatch door. So if anybody breaks into my fucking attic, they cannot get into the house anymore. There's a deadbolt on it. And that's the raccoon story.
Did the police know you already?
Yeah, they knew who the fuck I was. Okay.
I'm just wondering, when they get a call at 3 a.m. that Jim Cornette's having an issue at the house with a raccoon, did they all just go, I got to see this. Let's all go.
They didn't come out and admit that to me, but I think that's pretty much what happened and there was 2 cops in each car.
So you had 8 cops.
I had 8 cops in my house at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to fucking chase the wild raccoon out. Cause there's always, either that or I'm on the news, a couple years ago fighting the housing development across the street or the subdivision, whatever they call them, or, they get called to the scene where I've got the cab driver that ran into Stacy's car. I'm nose to nose with him, got him bent back over his fucking trunk or whatever. They're familiar. They're familiar.